Hello, everybody. How are we doing? It's the Stone Crow Virtual Pub. Thanks for joining me again on another fantastic Tuesday night. We got a great brewer tonight. We got George from London Brewing Company. How are you doing, George?
Not bad at all, things considered. How's it going?
Not too bad. Thank you very much. Not too bad. It's really nice to have you on the Stone Crow Virtual Pub tonight. I've been looking, I was sent by our lovely friends over at Beers of Europe. They sent me 2 cans of each. And I thought to myself, do I drink some of these on the weekend to do a bit of research, or do I go into this kind of like blind and have a drink with George blind? And I thought, let's go into it blind. Let's have a blind taste test with George tonight. So I refrained myself from drinking these beers. George, you're the head brewer. How are you? How's it all going?
Yeah, all very well. Not too bad. Not doing too much brewing at the moment with everything going on, but yeah, not too bad. All good.
Okay, and we got 3 beers tonight. 3 of your beers. I love the can design. Really like the can design.
Yeah.
We got Beer Street, your unfiltered best, which I love that name, by the way.
Glad you like it. So yeah, first beer we brewed actually, the Beer Street. First beer we ever brewed, and yeah, it's the first time we've done it in can as well. Yeah, we're pretty happy with how it's come out.
It's actually a green label. It's above George's head there, the actual label. For some reason, my camera's not really liking that, but it's showing up as a green.
Comes out a little better on my one, I think. Maybe possibly.
There you go.
Yeah,
much better. Oh, we got Beers of Europe in. How we doing, Beers of Europe? Let's light this one up. There we go. Evening all. So Beers of Europe are in. Our channel sponsors for tonight's show. We've also got a upright Session Ipa.
Yeah. So that's probably our most popular beer. It's a 4% easygoing kind of West Coast style IPA. But personally, one of my favorites in our range. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. I love that. Yeah, I love the artwork. The artwork is really, really good. It's really, really on point. I think with the competition these days in the bottle shops, you have to stand out these days, don't you? You're faced with a wall of cans sometimes when you walk into a shop, and you have to have really good branding, I think, to really stand out. I think you've done a really good job.
Yeah, we're really happy with how they come out. So all our branding is kind of based around Victoria and London, so that's kind of the theme running through them. But yeah, we're like, it's the first time we've done 4 40ml cans, and yeah, we're pretty happy with how they look, and it's all come together quite nicely, really.
Yeah, really fantastic. We've got a couple of comments in. Hello, and Simon and George from Beers of Europe. Jamie saying hello, everybody. Hi, people, says the Mersey Cop. Hope you're okay, mate. People talk amongst themselves as well. So, George, if we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. We've been running the Stone Crow Virtual Pub now. One of our keen followers here, it was actually Big Kev, who's just commented, said we've done. This is our 97th live stream since the situation kicked off on March the 20th. Yeah, this is our 97th live stream. We're 3 to go until we've done 100 live streams on YouTube.
A century.
Unbelievable. So as you can imagine, George, I need a beer, mate.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm going to crack this one. What do you reckon on this one, the Beer Street?
So, Beer Street, like I said to you before, it's our unfiltered best bitter, first beer we ever made, and it's like a full-bodied, thick, malty bitter. There's a nice balance to it. Back in mine as well. So, you'll notice a kind of creamy head as you pour it. A slight haze, which is kind of unconventional for this style of beer. Well, I guess 9 years, we only ever did it in cask, really. And this is the first version we've ever done in can. I was going to have exactly the same glass as you, actually, but I ended up having this one, the exact same one I was going to use. But so it's quite malty, and it's got a sort of caramel sweetness. And then there's kind of like a nice nutty flavor you'll get coming after that. And then on the finish, you get that kind of grassy, hoppy notes from Goldings and Fuggles. But yeah, a nice balanced bitter. Very happy how it's come out. So
I love a Bass bitter. This one looks really good They've got a 2-finger, slightly off-white head, slow-moving carbonation. As you said, a nice, slightly hazy-looking beer. I love the name as well, Beer Street and Gin Lane, isn't it? The old Beer Street.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to explain that one, George, if you know a bit about it?
Oh, I don't know too much about it. It's the name escapes me. I do know the name. It's probably on the can. But yeah, it's Gin Lane and Beer Street. So it's the two Hogarth's famous print, which obviously I knew off the top of my head. But yeah, but no, so it's the Hogarth prints, Beer Street and Gin Lane, and yeah, that was our, as I say, that was the first name we came up with, and all our beers follow a kind of Victorian slang theme and Victorian theme.
I love it. I love the name. I love the look for the beer. So basically, very quickly, Beer Street was, I believe it was a government promotion. Loads and loads of people were drinking gin, and loads of people were becoming ill and just drinking gin and not eating. And it was like almost like, the heroin of the day, if you like. And everybody was drinking this gin. And, you see the picture on Gin Lane where they're throwing the baby out the pram, with a bottle of gin in their hands. So what the government decided to do was really promote beer. So they had this portrait of Gin Lane, which, all hell's breaking loose on Gin Lane. And then they had this rather kind of nice Beer Street where everything was a lot more, what's the word? A lot more relaxed and civilized. That's the word. Far more civilized.
Yeah.
So that's the story with Beer Street and Gin Lane. That's the story with that. So I really like that you've called this beer this. Oh, look at that! Yeah, look at that haze in there. It's a can conditioned beer, is it, George?
No, it's not can conditioned, but it's because it's unfiltered and a natural beer. You'll get a slight bit of sediment at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's not much, but it's all good flavour. I would say some people don't drink the sediment, as in with bottle conditioned beers, you tend not to drink the sediment, but a tiny bit of sediment in these kind of beers is certainly not a bad thing.
Oh, I love it. Full of vitamins.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should we have a taste? Let's get the aroma first. Let's get the aroma. Oh, that smells lovely.
So yeah, proper bitter.
Oh, yeah.
It takes you back to being at the pub, really.
I love a best bitter. Let's go, mate.
Get in there, straight in. So yeah, nice full-bodied malty beer. It just mellows out into that sort of slightly dry finish.
Can I read this is the first time I've had a guest on, and I've done this. Stone the Crows, George. Stone the Crows. What a fantastic beer that is. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Oh. Do you know, I talk about this style of beer quite a lot when you get a really good one, when you get a really good bitter. I think some of the real craft beer enthusiasts, they won't go near a best bitter or a premium ale, or because there's so many kind of average ones, isn't there?
Yeah.
When you grab hold of a really good best bitter, as this is, I think it can be up there with some of the best styles in the world. When you get a really good one, when it's brewed properly, there's lots of balance between the sweetness and the bitterness. There's lots going on. It's got a great creamy mouthfeel, as you spoke about earlier on. Nice carbonation. It really is a joy to behold. Really, that's the first time I think we've done Stone the Crows with a brewer on.
Oh yeah, oh fantastic. Ooh. Well, yeah, I'm glad you like it because it's we've tinkered with it a little bit over the years, but mostly it's been largely the same beer. Cause it's a simple recipe. It does everything, in my opinion, everything a best bitter should do. And it's we really started out with cask, and cask is kind of still a big part of what we do. So nailing our core cask beers is quite important to us. And yeah, really happy with Beer Street.
It's really good.
The kind of bitter I want to drink. So happy with that.
Oh, we got a brewer in tonight, Lord's Brewing Company from Huddersfield in the UK. Massive hello. London Brewing Company. I think we'll highlight this one. Thank you very much to Lord John at Lords who are tuned in tonight. Thank you very much, Lords, for that. Saying hello to you. That is John's probably sitting there nodding his head. John produces a really good best bitter, but when you get this style right, when you produce this absolutely kind of right, like it is today, they can be some of the best. I think it can be right up there with some of the best styles in the world. There's a lot of people I've noticed on my channel recently, George, talking about New England IPA fatigue.
Yeah,
these New England IPAs. There seems to be a lot of fatigue about at the moment, where there's just so much of it, and people have drunk so much of this style of beer that I think if you just offer them something like this, something really good, hoppy, but malty and biscuity and bread, I think they really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's a big movement in brewing at the moment. I think we've had years and years of all kinds of amazing hop monsters, which are really great beers, but it's kind of dominated such a large part of the craft beer market. So, now you have the likes of Daya doing bitters as well. And a lot of people are going back to just really nailing those traditional styles, which is, it's kind of gone full circle really in the beer world.
Yeah. So a quick question. With the large brewery in London, it was about a year or two ago now, beginning with F, they sold out to a Japanese company, didn't they? Somebody told me that there was a brewer then become London's biggest independent brewer. Where are you in that scale? Of brewing? Are you right up there with one of the biggest now in London?
Well, no, we've always been quite a small brewery. We've been there from quite early on in the craft brewing scene. We've been established since 2011, but we've always been based inside brew pubs. So we started out. We've had 2 breweries, and both breweries been inside a pub. And really, we've kind of just been small independent brewers who've been there since really the start of craft beer in London. But we're not huge. We're a team of just 2 people and someone else who helps out occasionally. You make all the beer, so it really is a small team. And where we are, you can see most of the brewery is actually inside the pub. So when pubs are open again, you can come to the pub and have a pint and watch the beer being made, which is
cool.
Quite nice. But yeah, we're a small team. We like to get to know our locals and everything. And we're certainly not one of the big independents at the moment, but you never know.
So is that like you're brewing in the pub cellar type of thing?
So no, actually where the main bar is, there's kind of a lower level, which is where we have our hot side of the brewery. So we have our hot liquor tank and our kettle and our mash tun, and all the hot side actually happens in the main pub. So it's kind of it's slightly separate to all the tables where you eat and everything, but it's right next to it. So that's where all the hot side brewing has, and then we pump it through to the back in the cellar where we have all our fermenters. We have 2,000 litre fermenters in the back. So yeah, that's where we. That's kind of the setup, but yeah, it's quite nice really to have people drinking your beer while you're making it, and you get to get all the feedback directly from all your regulars. That's quite nice.
Cool. And do you get this about London a bit, or do you just focus on the one pub where you're brewing the beer?
Yeah, we get around a fair bit. So a large part of our trade is cask. As I said before, I think we're probably a lot more than a lot of craft breweries. We're quite heavily focused on cask. We do cask, keg, and obviously can. We get to pubs all around London and further afield, really. So there are a couple of distributors we go through, and our beer tends to reach a few pubs outside of London and all around London, really. But yeah, we haven't. Sorry, go on.
Amazing, no, really, really amazing beer. I think this best bitter is incredible. It really is. What are we saying? It's 4%. It's 4% ABV. Oh, I could drink this. I could drink this all day long. I love a good drink on a Sunday, George. Sunday afternoon, 1:00. I got a conservatory outside, of course, February, so it's really ideal just to grab a can out of the conservatory this time of year. So I've kept my cans in the conservatory, and it's just perfect temperature, loads and loads of flavour. I hope this is going to be the year. 2021 is going to be the year of the best bitter. I really hope.
We can hope. Yeah. Cheers to that, definitely.
I mean, John, I can see John at Lords is watching, and John is very similar to yourself, really, in that he's cask-led. He's a cask-led brewery, and he produces quite a lot of traditional styles of beer. Yes, he does some kind of quirky stuff as well, chocolate, orange beers, and other stuff. But predominantly, his focus is on producing really good, best bitters and the like. We got another super chat coming in. So I'm sorry, George. I highlight these super chats is people tipping us, really giving us a tip for what we're doing. Alan Mead, £2.29, €2.29 super chat. Evening, Simon and George. Great night planned. Yep. Great night planned. So we've been advertising this stream for about 3 or 4 weeks now. Can we get your comments in the comments box? Are you having a drink along with us? We'd love to know what you think of this best bitter if you are having a drink along with us. I'm sure the guys over at Beers of Europe have got some cans at home and they're having a drink along with us too. We got a comment from Lord's Brewing Company here. We love great cask beer. Definitely have to come down to London Brewing Company. Maybe there's a collaboration on the cards there, George, between you and Lord's Brewing Company. There you go. Maybe you can catch up later on.
Great, love to have you. Anytime
Sorry to interrupt you, George. Do you go to Brew London? Is it?
Yeah. We were at Brew London last year, and we tend to do most of the London beer festivals. Really, it's been a while since we've been to do any beer festivals, obviously, but we tend to do most of them.
I think I'm coming along this year. So I'll have to definitely come along to your bar and be nice to chink glasses, wouldn't it, and have a beer in person. All these video calls and Zoom calls and
yeah. Well,
Spicy. It's not the same, is it? It's not the same.
Hey, at least you don't have to get a night bus home or anything.
Yeah. Getting the train back to London. Unless I probably get a hotel for the night. That would be the best thing, wouldn't it? Get a hotel. Yeah. We got Spice and Easy in. How are you doing, Spice and Easy? Nice to have you on. Just grab some of these comments while we're here. Barnsley Football Club. Thank you very much, Pepperoni Stewart. Anthony Major, how you doing, Anthony Major? So we got 182 people in. I'm not sure on the likes tonight. I haven't set it up so I can see the likes. So if you can hit the like button down below, we can get this stream to over 200 people tuned in tonight. This is doing rather well, this live stream. George.
Yes.
Talking about kind of like not being able to go to beer festivals and the like. How has it been for you the last year, the current situation we find ourselves in? How has it been for you for London Brewing Company?
Well, I mean, it's certainly very different. Obviously, like I said before, a large part of our trade is in pubs and through pubs. So generally, we've been obviously making a lot less beer because there's a lot less beer going out there. But it kind of is what it is, isn't it? It's the same for everyone. There's a lot of breweries out there who are heavily focused on on bottling and stuff like that, and that's 90% of what they do. And they've it's been a bit easier but for us, we're kind of at the moment mostly closed down. We're brewing here and there, but not nearly as much as we normally would. So they're very much looking forward to getting back to it. That's for sure. Yeah.
And let me quickly get Joe Biden's $2 super chat. Joe's watching in Ohio in America, which is really cool. He's saying, George, welcome to the Stone Crow. Cheers. Thank you very much, Joe Biden, for the little donation there. We spoke about this very briefly. Oh, what have I done? Oops, that was an accident. We spoke about this briefly before we come on. I've noticed since Christmas, people's moods up until Christmas were kind of really good. Everybody was kind of like hanging on. And then Christmas came and there was a bit of disappointment with Christmas. And then what I've noticed is since Christmas, January and February, the darkest months of the year, if you like, not much to look forward to, being locked away a lot. I've noticed people's mood has dipped a lot. You probably speak to brewers up and down the country. What's the mood like in the brewing industry at the moment? Is it optimism? Is it pessimism?
I think it's kind of similar to a lot of industries and a lot of hospitality and other industries out there at the moment, really, because there's a lot of people I speak to who are working kind of ghost shifts and stuff like that. And I think it's been for some brewers I've spoken to, it's been a bit of a challenge, sort of keeping an eye on mental health and stuff like that, because a lot of the time there's a lot less interaction at work if you're not working with as many people, and people are working a lot more shifts where they won't see their colleagues at all. So I think it's it's challenging, but I think it's challenging for everyone at the moment, really, isn't it? So it's it's certainly different, and it's certainly not been easy, but I think most breweries have done what they need to do to last at this time, and everyone's kind of adapted as much as they can to kind of keep going. So days are getting longer now. Things are looking up a bit.
The days are definitely getting longer. We are looking to come out of this now in the next. Well, we had the agreement yesterday, or the chat on the telly yesterday with Mr. Johnson, didn't we? Where he mentioned, was it the 17th of April? Beer gardens are opening again.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that, which is really, that's going to be I'll be straight in the beer garden, to be honest. And then May the 17th, then where we can start drinking inside again. How much? So you're a cask-led brewery. How much have you? Has it been a quick process where you probably had to set up your online website, get your beer into cans, get it out there? Is that something which you'll always be looking for in the future now? Is like a direct-to-home market, through Beers of Europe, or through your own website? Is that something that you'll be looking to do in the future?
Well, I mean, definitely. It was actually kind of before everything happened. We were already about to can, and we were already about to get our cans out there. So the timing was kind of okay for us in a way. So, I mean, we very much looking to get a lot more into bottle shops and a lot more into directly sent to people at home, and just generally trying to get a lot more in small pack, a lot more cans out there. Because, for us, as we like to drink, we like to make beer that we like to drink. So, a lot of our brewers me and the other brewer all spend our time in bottle shops picking shiny labels out and trying different things. So it's quite nice to have our own beer on the shelf there and know that there's other people out there doing the same thing. So, I think there's definitely a much bigger focus on getting cans and bottles out there.
Lots of people building home bars now. I mean, I built one in the conservatory there. I got a hand pull, a 365, 0.365. Have you heard of that? I got a 0.365 hand pull. I got a Pygmy 25. Is it the one of those machines for the beer? I got a blade, perfect draft, and the other one, the Krups. I got all the machines going.
In case one goes wrong, you've got another 5 there ready to go.
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So that's kind of definitely where that happened for us last April. It was kind of like, right, let's be quick with this. Let's jump on this nice and quick. We started investing in machines for the channel, really. And it's worked nicely. It's worked nicely for the beer. But the whole point of the conversation is the drink at home market, I think, is going to be pretty big from going forward, I suppose. So it's really good you've got your cans out there nice and early.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shall we? If I sip, how are you doing in terms of the beer? Are you ready to move on to the next one?
I can certainly move on if you're ready. I got different separate glass here.
I needed that. I had a bit of a salty tea, so that one flew down the first one. But it was really good as well. It was a really good beer.
Good, I'm glad.
I'm wondering if somebody could put the link up in the chat for Beers of Europe's website. If somebody can do that, then I can highlight it on the screen, and then some of you guys can go and order some of London Brewing Company's beers, because I think you really need to do it. They're so far the beers have been absolutely fantastic. We got 208 people watching live.
Marvelous. What one have you cracked there, Simon? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I've opened up.
You're too keen to drink it. Too keen to drink it. Don't blame you.
Well, I didn't ask.
That's all right. I'll get me upright as well.
I went with ABV. I thought I'd leave the 4.9 till the end.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Absolutely fine. So yeah, this is upright, our Session IPA.
There we go. I just put the link up there for Beers of Europe.
Fantastic. So it's very much a kind of West Coast style IPA, which is kind of gaining a bit of traction at the moment. So it's got a much larger hit of bitterness than your kind of soft, juicy pales. You'll also notice it's a lot darker in color than a lot of pale ales you get out there. So it's got a big kind of medium, a big crystal sweet hit of sweetness at the start, which you should get right at the tip of your tongue. And then immediately at the back of your tongue, you get a heavy hit of bitterness. And it's kind of grapefruity pith flavors. It's quite a gentle carbonation because we're really trying to forward the hop flavor on this beer. And yeah, for a 4% beer, it's got a lot of flavor. And yeah, very much, like I say, West Coast, so very bitter, very hoppy, and still nice and balanced, easy drinking.
I think it's really important to get that balance is really important with that, like you say, using a different malt, a sweeter malt to balance off that kind of bitterness. I think it's a really good thing to do. It looks very nice, hazy looking beer, one finger white head, slow moving carbonation. Pardon me. Let's get the aroma. Oh yeah, again, proper full on. You know, it's you're not holding back, George. You with the hops.
No. About.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get a lot of grapefruit in there, kind of blood orange, and there's a bit of sort of resinous kind of piney aroma as well.
Definitely. My palate picks that up as like a grapefruit, but everyone's palates are different in there, you know.
No, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of grapefruit in there.
Oh, John saying, by the way, Simon, I don't know if you know, but this link for this live stream has been posted on the Reddit thread. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Quickly, before we jump into this beer, if we can get more people tuned into this, if you think somebody out there, one of your friends and family would like to watch this stream with George tonight and myself, then grab the link of the stream and send it to all your WhatsApp group friends and your Facebook and your Twitter and everywhere else. I got another £2.50 super chat. I'll be quick with this. And they're called drinking Euro Boozer. £2. Thank you very much, Euro Boozer, for the £2.50 super chat. Really appreciate that one. Should we dive in, George?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah. So nice and dry. Like a real nice bitterness at the back of your tongue.
Yeah, and a nice bit of sweetness as well. I'm kind of enjoying that kind of sweetness coming through. Sweetness, like you see, there's balance, bitterness, grapefruit, orange peel. Lots going on. Lots and lots going on. Lots and lots going on.
Yeah, this
and
is
with it being 4%. With it being 4% ABV, it's massively drinkable as well, and it's really refreshing.
Yeah. So that, I think, you know, what we tried to do with this beer is to get a beer which has got a lot of flavour. There's a lot going on. It's not a simple beer by any measure. It's quite complex, I think, but still, it's just easily drinkable. You know, if you're not that into beer, you'd be quite happy having a pint of it. But yeah, I mean, we really just tried to create a well balanced beer full of flavour and easy to drink, and I think we're pretty happy with how it's come out.
It's really good. And the thing with it, George, as well, is because it's in a can. I really love canned craft beer. There's going to be no light strike. Pardon me. It's all sealed up properly. The beer stays fresher for longer, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah, it does keep better in cans, especially with hoppy beers. There's no denying it. Cans do definitely keep better. Just to answer Steve's question, as yet, none of our beers are in supermarkets, but feel free to go to your local supermarket and ask them to stock it if you'd like to.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Or pick it up at beersofeurope.co.uk.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be that would be another idea. A quick question to Beers of Europe: how much do people have to spend to get free shipping? Is that something that the Beers of Europe do? They spend so much to get free shipping? Is that? I mean, I might be jumping the gun a bit, but maybe that's something where you know they can buy a load of your beers and they get free shipping. Lord's Brewing Company, Beers of Europe. It's nice to see a company championing the trade, not just sitting on their website. We need all the craft breweries to survive, or the trade will end up being run by 5 corps. Hello, Simon Wood. Simon Wood's coming as well. Salty Popcorn, Steve Addis, Joe Biden's Dentures. Lots of you are in. Alan Mead, of course. Thank you, Alan. Captain Meets Adventures. I'm going to ask you a question. We've got 214 people in tonight. Where are you from? What are you drinking? Where are you from? What are you drinking tonight? Come on then, comment. Right, Beers of Europe have said, here we go then. Orders over £60, free delivery. Orders over £60, free delivery at beersofeurope.co.uk. There we are. Oh, let's put this one up. That's a bit better. There we are. Free shipping on orders over £60. So if you order £60 worth of George's beer, you'll get it for free. The delivery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No need to even go to the supermarket.
No, that's it. You haven't got to bother going to the supermarket. So we've got people in where they're drinking. Captain Meets Adventures in Liverpool. Simon Woods in Woking. Portmore in Ireland. Chandler's Fords, Portsmouth in Ireland, Sicily, Italy. Really cool. Get people from all over the world, George. The comments section fascinates me.
Yeah. Mark is having a Teganesi, which is one of my favourite beers in the world.
The pills, Teganesi pills.
Yeah.
Or the Hell's Lager. One of them is brilliant.
The Hell, Teganesi Hell. That's one of my favourite beers, and the Special as well. Both lovely.
Apparently, if you go to the brewery and have it there, they got like the most amazing scenery from the brewery. So you got this amazing like Hell's Lager, and the scenery is incredible. You apparently you can look down to the fields to the river. You know, when you're sitting on a bench drinking amazing beer. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. That's the dream. It was another one to go on the list of beer pilgrimages.
Do you get about then? Well, of course, when we're allowed to. Do you get about to all these different breweries? And
I mean, I try. I think when I like to travel and stuff, I'll always see if there's breweries in the area wherever I go. So yeah, I try to, absolutely. I think the most recent I went to after the first lockdown, I had a little time in Scotland and around the Highlands. There's some great breweries around there.
Really?
Yeah, had some really lots of nice whiskey barrel aged imperial stouts and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of great beer up there. That's for sure.
I'm trying to think of one of them. Is it Fine Ales?
Yeah, it's Fine Ales. Fine Ales. They have a few. There's a brewery called Windswept Brewery, and their beers are phenomenal when I was there. Really nice. But there's quite a few dotted around now because it's obviously whiskey country. But you know, there's a lot of good little breweries there now. Black Isle Brewing as well, obviously.
Yeah, Black Isle. Yeah. Colin Strong went up there, didn't he? The brewer. I think Colin Strong went up to Black Isle at one stage. And once somebody like Colin, he's one of those like brewers where wherever he goes, he kind of like picks the brewery up from the scruff of the neck, and you know everybody wants to buy their beers. So I think he's at Buxton at the moment. You know, he's one of those brewers. So I think he went up to Black Isle, and they just was one of those breweries where everybody wanted their beer, you know.
Yeah. But no, it's lovely when I say.
There we go. Just to finish, we haven't really spoken about this beer very much. Being caught up with the comments and and everything else. But this is, yeah, delicious pale ale. Really, really, really tasty. Nicely balanced. Nice little bit of sweetness from the malt, as you mentioned. So what was the malt you used?
A large part of the flavor is crystal malt, basically. So it's what gives it that darker color and that kind of caramel type sweetness. And that's like the first taste you really get is a bit of caramel right at the front of your mouth. And then because it's such a very bitter hoppy beer, that'll then kick in at the back of your tongue. So it's really got like a big malty sweetness, a lot more than you might get from your standard kind of session pale. But then also just to balance that big hoppy hit you get at the end, because it's like I say, quite a bold beer, but really just trying to work in balance. Really.
So are we Big Kev saying I haven't had a haircut in ages? Yeah, Big Kev saying Simon Sideburns are now a good 3-finger head size. Brilliant. So these 3 beers behind you are your core beers that we're drinking tonight. Do you kind of jump in the realm of like monthly specials, and do you stick to what you know type of thing?
So we do, yeah. I mean, for any brewer, really, like it's kind of just as important to nail your core range and keep that consistency as it is to do something funky and one-off exciting beer. But for cans and small pack at the moment, we just do our core range in cans. But we tend to do keg and cask one-off specials, and because we have our own pub where the brewery is, and we sell a lot on site, we tend to do small batches of one-off specials, and that could be all kinds of sort of funky beers. I think the last one we did was a beetroot and pomegranate goza, which was quite out there, but it worked out really well. We're very happy with that. But so for now the cans are just our those 3 core beers, which is Gigglemug, Beer Street, and Upright. And we're just sort of starting off there, but we might have some new cans in the future, I think.
Stout, is that something that interests you? Stout?
Well, Stout is quite possibly one of the cans we'll have in the future. So we
nice.
Our 100 Oyster Stout is probably our most successful beer. It's won the gold medal in the stout category at the London Beer Festival for 3 years. So that's we put 100 fresh oysters in every 1,000 litres, basically. So we take 100 fresh oysters, smash them up and put them in a big muslin bag and dip it right into the beer while it's boiling for the last 10 minutes of the boil. And that beer has probably been our most successful beer. I think it's won 5 awards and 3 golds over the years. So yeah, we're very happy with that. If you haven't tried it, you have to try it. But
I fancy it. John saying from Lords, he needs to come to your pub. It sounds amazing. I very much like to come down. What part of London are you based? Did you see on the can King's Cross? Or?
So we're in North London, kind of suburban, a bit further out than King's Cross. So we're on the Northern Line around Woodside Park Station, but it's in North Finchley. So kind of North London suburbs, really. But yeah, you can get to us fairly easily. It's quite well connected.
Oh, cool! That'd be nice. I mean, especially if I'm at Brew London this year, we'll have a pint and we'll probably jump on a train and go and have a look at your pub, take some pictures, and make a quick video while I'm there at brewery tour.
I mean, please do. You're welcome down when the pubs are back open. Absolutely. And we're quite a small, approachable team, so more than welcome. If anyone wants to ask some questions or see the brewery when you're there, more than welcome to. Yeah.
On me, I'm drinking it a bit quick. Yeah, that'd be good. So the oyster stout, that fascinates me. Is that with dipping them in the last 10 minutes of the boil? Does that make the beer slightly salty? Or yeah.
So it's a little kind of salty mineral flavor to the beer, kind of like when you have like a sea salt dark chocolate or something, and the salt kind of cuts through the chocolatey sweetness slightly, and it's not overpowering, but it just gives you that little bit of salty kind of mineral flavor just to cut through the sort of heavy dark chocolate flavor you get in stouts and coffee and everything. But
it sounds amazing. I think the only oyster stout that I've had is the one from the Midlands, the big brewery up in the Midlands.
Yeah.
They're the only. That's the only oyster stout that I've ever had, and it's nice to see that a microbrewery is doing the same thing. Because you probably, you're not brewing it with an accountant on your back here. You're doing your own thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I have to keep the boss happy to some extent, but but yeah, no, we do have a fair reign to sort of try some experimental things out, and yeah, you know, it really is always the priority is always the beer. Really, that's the number one thing is whatever goes to making the beer right. You know, that's what we do put first. And you know, if it means that the beer costs a bit more, then we charge a bit more for the beer. But you know, the number one priority is always getting the right ingredients and getting the beer on point as it should be. But,
John from Lords, you can pick up. I'll say it doesn't matter, does it? You can pick up. Probably find it online or in a shop. Maybe Marston's Oyster Stout. I quite enjoyed it, John. You probably enjoy it. Or wait for the lovely George to brew his and get it in the can and try George's. I'd really like to try that when you get it out. Have you got a time scale, George, for when this is coming out?
We're not exactly sure. It's still just an idea at the moment, so there's nothing confirmed. But at some point, it might be making its way to can. But if you really do want to try it, I can always send you something in the post if you fancy, just a sample.
Oh, that would be incredible! Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I'd like that. Thank you very much. Yeah. I get angry a little bit like that, Cosmic Warto, but I can't repeat what you're saying. Sorry, in the comments.
So just to answer Mark's question, apart from Oyster Stout, all our beers are vegan. So cask and keg, everything we do is vegan, apart obviously from Oyster Stout because it has lots of oysters in. But yeah, everything else in our range is vegan.
Yeah, absolutely. That's is it isinglass, isn't it, or seaweed to clear the beer?
Yeah, so Irish moss is the seaweed, and that's fairly standard in a lot of beer, really. But yeah, isinglass is the one that is largely used to clear cask beer, and that's made out of sturgeon swim bladders, I believe.
Amazing. I wonder who come up. You know, it's one of those questions you've asked after you've had a few beers. I wonder who came up with that. You know, I'm going to use this fish bladder to clear my beer. It should be that they use the sea moss from Ireland. That would be a much better approach, wouldn't it? Surely. But well, it all boils down to price, doesn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, well, usually breweries will use both. So even for cask beer, when you're on the hot side, you'll use the Irish moss, which is the seaweed, and we still use that. Most breweries still use that on the hot side in the boil, but then that doesn't clear up your beer completely. So normally, if you want a crystal clear cask beer, there are other ways, and we use vegan finings. But the majority of cask breweries will use isinglass, which is the the fish finings, as people tend to call it. But
yeah, probably maybe it does a slightly better job at a cheaper price, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, it works well. There's no denying how effective it is. But I think we made the move a few years ago to stop using it in any of our cask beers, and it really, I mean, mostly it's actually made the beers better, because I find with a slight haze, you tend to get better beers. You tend to get hop oils that are bonded to those proteins that you're making drop out if you make it too clear. And I do tend to think the beers are actually a bit better, slightly hazy, even the more traditional styles. But yeah.
Cool. Brilliant. What's been your beer of the situation? The beer of 2020 is what we call it. Did you buy a lot of other people's beer online? And
I do, yeah, I do. I would be hard pushed to choose one.
It is difficult, isn't it? It is difficult.
It's difficult. It's a big name, but I do love Steady Rolling Man. The Day of Pale is I particularly last year I bought a case of that, and I was enjoying it a lot. I absolutely cannot deny it. Absolutely cracking beer.
One of those breweries, Cheltenham. I went up on the train to Cheltenham because I'm living in South Wales. I went up and followed the River Severn all the way up past. Kind of just past northern Bristol way, and you can actually see the River Severn getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and so there's a tiny little river. But what a fantastic scenic route to go on a train to get up to Daya. I met my friends, some fellow beer tubers on YouTube, And then I they had to help me on the train. We spent all day in day out in the brew pub, and they had to help me on the train on the way home.
Oh, really?
I woke up with a sandwich hanging out my mouth in Newport train station. One stop, two stops before I had to get off.
Yeah. Enjoyed it a bit too much, maybe.
Oh, one of those situations where I was there and I wanted to try all of their beer. I really wanted to try all of their beer, and fabulous, just fabulous.
Yeah, no, phenomenal. Very good brewery. Very good brewery. But yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot around that part as well. I think Arbor as well. I've had a few really nice Arbor beers lately, and yeah, they've been doing really well. But there's a lot of good beer out there these days. That's for sure. I think you can go into any bottle shop and you won't be able to buy everything you want to try. There's so many good breweries out there these days.
See you, John. John at Lords has got to go to. He got a Zoom call to go to. Okay, thanks for tuning in, John. Cheers, mate. We've still got 223 people live tonight. It's really good for a Tuesday. Really good for a Tuesday. And we're 45 minutes in. I think maybe shall we move on to the Gigglemug?
Last but not least,
Juicy Pale. Yeah,
so it's 4.9%. And yeah, it's just a kind of light juicy pale. Not quite a Nipa. It's got a little more bitterness. It's kind of medium bitterness. And where the last beer is kind of very much citrus, grapefruit pith, this forwards a little more kind of stone fruit and berry flavor kind of hops. So yeah, you should notice kind of quite a different hop profile for this beer.
George, we've got a question from Tom Green asking, what is your favorite hop? Whether that's the brew hop.
Ooh, it depends on the day of the week. My favorite hop at the moment, I've been really liking Sabro. Sorry, is one of my favorites just 'cause it's so complex. Has really unusual profiles. So I've been enjoying Sabro a lot lately. But really, I think it's more about how the hop's used than that the specific hop. I think if it complements the rest of the beer, that's the main thing for me. I think sometimes Citra will be my favorite in a certain beer, and then another beer will change my mind. So, yeah, hard to call that one.
Oh, we got another one. Where did that go? Salty Popcorn. I know London Brewing Coast pub. It's bang on Tally Ho Corner in North Finchley.
Yeah. That's the one. So, yeah, Tally Ho Corner. That's where we are.
Did it used to be an Irish pub? Salty Popcorn.
It did. Yeah. It was actually an O'Neill's. Yeah, before we took it over.
Cool. And we got my good friend Paul in from Paul's Beer Reviews. Evening, guys. Hello to Mr. London Beer Company. Enjoyed the Zia Stout. Any plans for a bigger version of that? Oh, I think Paul. I think you're mixing George and London Brewing Company up with London Beer Factory. I think
it's happened before.
Yeah, these guys are London Brewing Company, Paul. Sorry, mate. London Beer Factory. They put a lot of their beers in Tesco's, I think, don't they? Awkward moment. There's a silence. Sorry, I wanted to say we talked quite a lot about the label for Beer Street.
Yeah.
We didn't cover very quickly. We didn't cover the label for Upright. What the story is with that?
So the story for Upright is that, like I say, all our beer names, or most of our beer names, are from Victorian slang. So Upright was the name for kind of an upstanding gentleman in Victorian London. So it was kind of an old businessman. So that's the story behind Upright.
Okay.
Gentleman. There's a little history on the back of the can there. And Gigglemug was somebody who wore a permanent smile. So somebody who sees someone in the pub who's always smiling, that's because they got a Gigglemug. So yeah, that's what Gigglemug means.
Ah, right.
And the idea is that we hope it brings a smile to your face when you drink it as well. So yeah, there you go.
No worries, Paul. These things happen, Paul. I'm sure George is absolutely fine with it.
Don't worry. I think all the London breweries get used to being mixed up with one another every now and again. So don't worry.
Big Kev saying, can George explain his background, not his years growing up, but his wallpaper behind him? This the labels of the beer. Go on, George.
Well, the story is that I had this Zoom call and I didn't really have a very interesting background, so we had some leftover labels, so I sort of stuck them to a big bit of wood behind me for the purpose of this call. But now really I've quite a nice feature in my bedroom, so I might keep it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that would go really well on a garage wall or something, wouldn't it? You know, like on an angle.
Yeah, exactly. I've been customizing a few things with the leftover labels, so it's all good branding,
Cool. Okay. Right. So, I poured my beer out. We haven't really got into this one yet. In terms of color, it's slightly. Is it the same color or slightly lighter?
A little paler. Yeah. So a bit more kind of straw color. And yeah, like I say, aroma wise, it's got a lot of oats and a lot of wheat in it, so there should be a bit more body. It's a bit less light and dry. There's a bit more sweetness and a bit more body to it, like I said. And really, it's less bitterness, and it's kind of a more easygoing beer, but stronger ABV. And it forwards a lot more of those kind of stone fruit, berry kind of hop notes, as opposed to big citrus pine kind of hop notes.
Okay. Hazy Haze, Simon, third beer and no toilet break. Are you cured? Thank you very much, Hazy Haze. We have been rattling through these tonight, mind, haven't we? So let's dive in. Smells really good. Really good. As you said, you get that kind of light, wheaty.
Yeah. So it's got a little more haze to it.
Joe Biden, Simon has a new bladder. That's really nice. I'm picking up like a bubble gum, almost like a Belgian kind of like a bubble gum, Belgian-y kind of. It's really nice.
Yeah. So it's got a much sweeter profile than the previous beer, and yeah, like I say, it's a lot less kind of citrusy in its hop flavor, and there's a lot more kind of. It uses some Rakau and some Mandy B as well, so you get kind of sort of a sweet orangey flavor. A lot more too, and it's really it's quite different. It's also quite a hoppy beer, but very different in terms of its profile to the Upright. And yeah, you'll notice a lot more kind of plum, peachy kind of flavor as well. But you're not far off with bubblegum for sure.
Got a comment here from Matt saying, George, which would you say is your personal favorite of the three beers?
My personal favorite would have to be, and this is because before I started working for London Brewing Company, I absolutely loved this beer. It's got to be Upright, because Upright was my before I started working for them. It's all I used to drink. I used to love it. So I think it has to be Upright. But I'm actually very happy with the Beer Street as well, because it's quite an unusual beer to put into can, and I think it came out really well. So I think the Beer Street is a close second. But I'm happy with all of them, to be honest.
They're all very good. They're all very good. I think because again, I drink so much kind of like Session IPA, New England IPA. I think my personal favourites of the night is just stand out for a best bitter and a premium ale is your Beer Street. It's just, this is incredible. Sorry for my grey. I don't know why my camera's picking it up as a grey label. Perhaps George can,
try and get my one on there.
There we go. It's a green. It's more of a green label on there. But that for me is got to be in the top 3 best bitters I've ever had from the UK. Easily. I've had a really good one that stood out in my mind from, and it changed my mind because I always used to say, it's such a generic term, isn't it? Like a premium ale or a best bitter. It's almost used too much and not really given the respect that it's deserved. But I had a really good one from Bristol Beer Factory about 7 years ago, and it changed my mind on the whole best bitter thing. You know, that you can actually brew a really good one. And yeah, this for me is top 3 in the UK at the moment for a best bitter. It's tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Dan Jordan, always nice to chat with the brewers. I need to get across the pond to check out all these awesome breweries over there. Dan Jordan, you must be in America. Thank you very much for tuning in from America. Dan Jordan, cheers, mate. This is cracking. 4.9. 4.9 is it? 4.
Yeah, 4.9.
4.9% ABV. Again, it's one of those. You could pick up a 4-pack of this, couldn't you, or a mixed pack with your other beers, and it's a proper kind of, as I call, a Sunday afternoon session beer, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly easy drinking. You know, it's like a soft mouthfeel. It's not going to be too in your face. It's just like a nice, easygoing beer, sort of a clean, crisp, hot profile, and yeah, it's a very nice, easy, good summer beer, really. And yeah, nice, easygoing beer. Glad you're enjoying it.
And I mean, with the ABV as well, do you ever brew big ABV beers, or do you like to keep it where, you know, you get your customer to have a few of them? Is that
I think really we do like to keep all our beers kind of drinkable, and you know, we don't like to do anything too sort of you can only have a third of it and that's it. But we generally do like to try and do quite out there bold beers, but still keep them drinkable and still keep them accessible for people. We have done we did a 9% bourbon barrel aged imperial stout, and that was great, and certainly all beer nerds in the company loved it. But you know, generally for the most part, we try and keep all our beers accessible. Beers which are kind of drinkable and sessionable, and it's all about going back for another pint, really. We try and keep them all nothing too crazy. But if we are going to go out there and experiment with flavors and start introducing fruit to beers and stuff like that, we'll really try and keep that beer drinkable and keep whatever we do to it within kind of the flavor profile that fits that beer, rather than, you know, just doing some kind of a mango IPA just for the sake of it. You know, we'll try and match it to the type of hops we're using in that beer and really get the flavor profile so it's got a nice balance.
Yeah, I worked as a beer salesman around the South Wales area, and a lot of our beers were light and golden and below 5% ABV, and we sold a lot of that style of beer. And I tried to convince I did convince the brewery owner to make a porter at 6%. And I told him, as the beer salesman, I'm going to sell this beer. I couldn't shift it. I was, you know, traveling around all these different pubs with my brochures, telling them, you know, how proud I was. I managed to get, you know, the owner of this brewery to produce a porter, and it's our first porter in a while. And nobody was interested. They were like, we won't shift it. We won't sell it. And that's I don't know if that's just a problem in South Wales. I mean, because you're famous for your London porters, aren't you? You know, it was a massive sale of London beer back in the day. But I don't know if you have the same problem there, where it gets to a certain strength or a certain color, and you just have trouble shifting it.
No, I mean, absolutely. I think it's even in London, it's a problem. It's an issue. You can't do anything too experimental because it'll be harder to sell. But I think a mild, for example, like a good mild is probably one of my favorite types of beer. But again, a lot of breweries are too scared to do a mild because milds are really hard to sell. Nobody wants a 3.2, 3.4% beer because it just doesn't fit their range. So yeah, for me, I personally love drinking a cask mild. It's one of my favorite beers if it's executed well. But you just can't brew them really because they're really hard to sell. But and that's the shame of it. But yeah, it's you know, it's changing. There's a lot more bars out there which are looking to have experimental beers and have something a bit unusual, and that's kind of the selling point. So it is changing, but
it's amazing to, you know, some of the more kind of like you say, I've had a fantastic. Have you tried Rudgate's Ruby Mild from Rudgate Brewery?
I think I have.
Oh, they're up. I think they're up Leeds way. Superb. One of the best bottled. Again, it's that complex malt. I really appreciate the complex malt, but this Rudgate Ruby Mar for me, it was tremendous. I really enjoyed it, but it probably, they probably struggle to push it. They struggle to push it out, which is, I don't know, one of these things. Yeah. A lot of people drink with their eyes, don't they? They don't drink with their yeah.
So yeah, we had a sorry, go on. We had a thing a while ago where we were discussing brewing a collaboration beer with a Swedish brewery, and we were sort of discussing doing a collaboration together. And they basically said to us, we can't sell anything which isn't above 6.5% and doesn't have a fruit addition to it. Like unless it's above 6.5% and doesn't have fruit, we can't sell it. And we basically said, well, we can't sell anything below. We can't sell anything that's above 6.5, and we can't sell anything too experimental or too fruity. And the markets just didn't match up. So like around the world, I think there's a lot of cultures where, people want those really exciting, fruity, out there, high ABV beers, but are less interested in kind of your 5% pales or 4.5% pales. But yeah, I think it's really starting to change in British beer anyway. I think you're starting to get a lot of. I think the main difference is those small cask-led pubs are usually less likely to put on those really experimental beers, and I do think there's starting to be a shift there. Where you're getting a lot more craft. Those go on.
Mark Drury's just put in a really good comment there, saying purely for sales and low risk stock, craft pubs will have a pale ale, a bitter, an IPA. On draft, and then you'll have your porters, sours, New England IPAs, and stouts, etc. in a can. Now, isn't that like a funny kind of, almost? I think a lot of it is artwork. You guys have nailed your artwork here. If you did produce that Oyster Stout, I'm pretty sure you've got a really good kind of can that it can go in, and I think that makes such a difference when you're looking at a website. And you can, you see this Oyster Stout and it somehow shines at you on a website, doesn't it? Like Beers of Europe's website. It'll shout out to you and you'll order that beer rather than if you see it in a pub, maybe marked on a chalkboard, you may be thinking, I may give that a miss type of thing. Why do you think it is, George, that people will buy an experimental can and they may not buy that experimental beer in the pub? It's a funny one. I can't put my finger on it, to be honest.
I think it's a good question, but I think really it tends to be a different customer. And I also think when people are in a bottle shop buying beers for home, they're looking to buy a beer to have, they want to have a variety of different beers, maybe like a sour, an IPA, and a stout, just to have one with a meal one evening or something like that. Whereas I think in a pubs, if you've only got 4 cask lines, you're really looking to put on a beer which people will keep coming back for, that same beer, and you'll sell off that cask or that keg quicker than you would another. And I think really it's just the culture of drinking in a pub compared to buying from bottle shops and stuff like that, which means you get more variety in bottle shops, especially because you get a lot more craft drinkers going to bottle shops, but and buying online. But I think it's I've said before, but I think it's starting to change. You tend to get usually like a lot of bars these days that have one line they kind of accept as an experimental line, and they don't necessarily expect to sell a huge amount of volume from that whatever 8% milkshake IPA they have on that line. And they're not expecting to sell a huge volume, but that's kind of a show off beer. And I think it's starting to, because I think that's where the customer base is. There's a lot of people who want to try just one pint or one half of something really interesting and unusual, and I think it's starting to creep into pubs. For sure.
Paul's saying he joined a bit late, so Paul's saying, what's the Oyster Stout all about? London Brewing Company, George here, is looking in the future to maybe, nothing's promised, but maybe put their award-winning Oyster Stout in a can. So watch this space. I imagine watch Beers of Europe space. I'm sure they'll send you an email when this beer is available, if it ever becomes available.
Potentially. I'll probably get in trouble now, but potentially going to can.
Potentially, yeah. Well, it's good to gauge the market. I mean, a lot of people are willing to talk about it on here. So that's a good start. Mark Drury with the follow-up, because he asked that great question to begin with. For me, it's the home drinking culture. I just placed an order with Beers of Europe this week for 10 cans, and so you got a variety of each. As I know I can get them in my local. Right, yes, so a variety of different beers you're able. I suppose that's the case, isn't it? You're at home. I always go online when I've had a few. And that could be the worst thing. You order beers, I'll have that one, I'll have that one. You've had a few. Wake up in the morning, you spend 100 quid. Yeah, it's I suppose that's the thing. It's the internet culture, the impulse buying, I suppose they call it, don't they?
Yeah.
Sorry, George. Captain Meets Avengers. I wondered if Stout or Porter's problem is Guinness. If you try to sell a new porter in a pub, I bet most of the time the bar staff will say it's like Guinness. Yeah, I suppose that could be a problem, George. That could be a problem. I'm not a fan of Guinness. I'm not a fan of Guinness at all.
I think the market tends to be bigger for cask stouts and porters because obviously you're not competing with Guinness if you're on cask as much. The cask drinkers won't touch Guinness and the Guinness drinkers won't touch cask in general. So if it's a keg porter or stout, then you're kind of competing with Guinness, but less so if you're focusing on cask. I'd say.
Yeah. I find. I mean, as a brewer, you don't have to answer this if you don't like, if you don't want to. But I find Guinness very syrupy now, very kind of brown sugary, very like this. There's no roasted malt in it at all anymore. I don't know what you don't have to answer that, but
I think it's probably changed over the years. But they kind of firmly cemented their place in beer history, at least. You have to. A lot of stuff wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Guinness originally. Probably, it gets a lot of people into that kind of beer. So, we can thank them for that. But I do. It's possible that it's changed over the years for sure.
Yeah. Just getting some of these comments. It's only worth drinking in Ireland, says Shane. Oh, here's a good one from Paul. This is for you, George. Any particular beers that started your beer journey and essentially your desire to brew?
Ooh, I'd actually have to say the first thing that got me into beer was pinching my dad's ales when I was sort of an early teenager, and I was probably a bit too young to be doing it. But it would probably be Hobgoblin by Witchwood. Hobgoblin was probably the first beer I had, and I used to regularly pinch it, and it was all kind of the a lot that you'd expect, really, kind of like Thirsty Ferret and a lot of the old ales, So that was the first thing that really got me into beer, and then I thought, how do you can't be that hard to make beer, and it wasn't. So yeah, I'm not really joking, but I started home brewing from there. Really, I was just kind of got into ales, and then kind of got to know the locality of beer. Wherever you went, you could find local beer, and that was really what the main thing that got me into it. Is just wherever you are in the country, you can find local beer to that area, and it will be different because of the water they have in that area and because of the access to whatever malts they have in that area, and that's really what got me into it. In answer to Matt Williams, I do also still love Hobgoblin. I still have a soft spot for it because it was my first real beer.
It was for me. It was the artwork. It was like, whoa, look at that! That looks really cool. I want to drink that, and never knew. I was always like, what is it? What kind of alcoholic drink is this? And bought it and enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. Talking to you about water, that's a really good topic. I mean, we could talk all night about different aspects of brewing, but water's a good one because I had Anarchy Brew Co. on back in the summer on one of these lives, and they were talking about they'll condition their water for each brew. So if they did a New England IPA, they'll make the water ultra soft to get it to be ultra drinkable. Is that something that you guys do with your brews? You know, you adjust the water. Is it acidity levels, or you change things, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. So I mean, people talk a lot about Burtonization of water, which isn't really. Essentially, they mean adding a lot of sulfate to it, but it's not really. It's really about understanding the water profile you're starting with. So understanding the water you have, whether you have a spring or you have mains water at your brewery, understanding the water you have is the most important thing. And then it's just adjusting. So, for example, the Beer Street has a different water treatment to the Gigglemug, which has a different water treatment to the Upright, because we're trying to avoid different things. So Upright is supposed to be very light and crisp and very hoppy. So it's a high sulfate water, has a lot of sulfates. And it's quite essentially a much softer water than, say, Beer Street, which is supposed to be quite a big malty beer. So yeah, I mean, your water is hugely important, and it's not just about acidification. It's kind of about balancing the sulfates and chlorides and a few other things in your water, and just trying to get your water profile bang on, so that when you add all those nice hops to your beer, that they're being forwarded because of the water you started off with.
So like platform, isn't it, to work from? Get your water right, and then it's just
most overlooked thing in brewing, I'd say, especially homebrew. You never really think about your water to start off with, but it makes a huge difference. A huge difference.
There's a lot of people who are new to beer, and they're probably finding it very complicated. But if you get into it, if you're interested enough in beer and you want to do a bit of home brewing, then all of the pieces of the jigsaw come together eventually, don't they, George? When you
absolutely. I think with home brewing, it's really just trial and error. It's your first brew is probably going to be terrible, because everyone's is.
Over the
exactly. The process isn't that complicated, and it's I'd encourage anyone who's into beer to try home brewing for sure.
Yeah. I go on from Joe Biden's dentures, and I'm going to run to the toilet. My bladder has finally given up on me, so I'm going to let George answer this one. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Whenever we have a guest on the show, Joe Biden from Ohio in America asks the guest this very question. So, George, you're in charge of the live stream. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay. Well, my first question in response would be, it depends on the terrain. Where am I facing this grizzly bear or great white shark? Because if I'm facing the grizzly bear in the sea, I definitely choose the grizzly bear. If I'm facing the great white shark on land, it's a no-brainer. But it's a tough question. It's a tough question, and certainly one I wasn't expecting. But yeah. Well, where do I go from there? I'm gonna go with the great white shark, but only if it's on land. That's my final answer. Which means I hope Simon doesn't take too long to get back from the loo. But so I'll take you. You got James Hickey. Which supermarket would you like to try and get into first? Honestly, I don't know really. I think one of the large things for us, and one of the things I would say, is that I would always recommend, especially these days when supermarkets do have a lot of good craft beer and they have a lot of nice beers for sale, is that buying from a local small independent bottle shop, you're likely to get your beers a lot fresher. Or if you're buying from a website as well, Beers of Europe or any a website that does beer too, you're likely to get your beers a lot fresher than you are from any supermarket. Because with a supermarket, it will go to a big warehouse, it will sit there not in the right cold storage, and then it will sit on the shelves of the supermarket, again, not cold stored properly. Whereas a lot of bottle shops, the beer won't have traveled too far, and a lot of websites, the beer won't be as old, it won't have spent as long in package. And especially with your big hoppy beers, it makes a big difference getting them fresh and getting them when they haven't been sat on the shelves too long. So I would always say try and go to a bottle shop or an online retailer or something like that over a supermarket if you can, because the beers tend to be fresher. But
Thank you very much, Joe Biden, for the $5 super chat. Was that all right, George? I hear you've answered a couple.
Fine.
Simon Wood, one of our amazing followers here. That's been way through for the kudos. Beers of Europe are saying they buy small quantities in at a time. I suppose my beer education, George. I was buying a lot of supermarket beers when the channel first started. At a budget, I used to buy the beers on a 3 for $5 or whatever, and then we picked up this fantastic channel sponsor, beersofeurope.co.uk. We'll put up their latest comment, and they started sending us 10 beers a month. It wasn't a financial sponsorship. There was no money. No money has ever traded hands between Beers of Europe and myself. It was just we'd give them a shout out when we showed off the beer, and they'd send us 10 beers a month. And my beer education, because they had, German and Belgium and from all over the world, Aussie beers, American beers, and I'd have these beers coming in every single month. And that was really kind of being able to try these beers from all around the world was a real education. And I'm still enjoying it now. 10 we've been the sponsorship's been going about 8 years, and just to be able to drink beer from all around the world is absolutely terrific. It really is. Do you drink a lot of beer from around the world, George?
I try to, yeah, I certainly try to, but I mean, I like to try as much beer as possible, really. But yeah, I think the main thing for me is if I ever am traveling to a city, or if I'm ever somewhere abroad, I like to try and find a local beer for that area and try it, in the location it's made roughly, and in the setting it's meant for, kind of thing. So I always try and get something when I'm there. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly amazing these days to be able to get all these global beers, online or in the supermarket. A lot available.
We got a $2 super chat from Square Table Degenerates Podcast. Cheers from Ohio. It's really cool. What else have we got in terms of comments? We really enjoy working with you, Simon. Yeah, it's been amazing, and can't wait for us to go down. We're going to visit their tap room down there in Norfolk. I can't wait to get down there. It's going to be amazing. I think when this whole situation finally goes away, George, I think it's going to be like people are saying it's going to be like the swinging 20s, the 1920s, where it was just anything went. I think because we've been hunkered down for a whole year, I think it's going to be like a bottle of pop, isn't it? Going on. It's going to be everything.
I dread to think. But I mean, there's certainly a lot of people looking forward to getting back to the pub. That's for sure.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to. I think one of the first places we're going to go to is down to Beers of Europe. I mean, I've never been there. We've been sponsored for eight or 9 years by these lovely people, and to get down there and drink some of their beers on tap and finally meet them, it's just going to be. Well, it's going to be like a big bottle of pop going off, as we say. It's going to be wild. How are you for time, George? Are you okay for time, or did you want to...
I'm all right for the moment. Yeah, I'm all right for now.
You're all right for the moment? Brilliant.
Yeah.
George, I think you should come down with me. We'll have a few beers down at...
I'd like to. I used to live in Norfolk. I have a big soft spot for Norfolk, so I'd love to, definitely. Sure.
Amazing. I've been down as... I've been to Shepherd Neame. I brewed a beer with Shepherd Neame. I brewed a collaboration with Shepherd Neame a long time ago.
Oh, nice.
I've been kind of down that way. I've been to Green King. What else have I've done something else down that way as well. Just a bit, the bigger stuff. But that was a really... Green King was really interesting. They had like a whole underground... You'll have to watch my brewery tour video on YouTube. They opened it for me. It was amazing. Like, they haven't opened these cracked open these doors with cobwebs all over them, and underground, underneath the brewery. They said this is where they used to brew over, and it was all like all the plaster was falling off the ceilings, and it was like they just locked it up and left it type of thing. And then in a cage on the left-hand side, they brewed a beer in. For my history's no good. You'll have to excuse my history, but like they brewed a beer for King George's ceremony or something, and for some reason, the king pulled out of buying the beer right at the last minute.
Right.
So they left it. They let all in. It was all ready to go in the plastic. Can you remember the plastic containers they used to put all the beer bottles in, like the milk floats?
Yeah.
Actually, like this massive, as big as my house downstairs. It was full to the brim with all of these bottles of beer from like 1930, and they just left them. And I said, "Can I do a beer? Can you?" They said, "No, we're not having you opening one of them up 70-year-old beer." I said, "Oh, I'll be fine. Go on, let me have one." They said, "No." But it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. Have a look at the
Yeah. That sounds amazing. I'd be curious to try one for sure.
Oh yeah. Have you noticed the yeast goes black, doesn't it, when you have a really old bottle of beer?
Don't know if I have one old enough.
You'll have to try. It's a common one. Not common. It's a barley wine. Somebody tell me that. I'm sure Beers of Europe know, because they wanted to send me a bottle. It's a 10% barley wine. Thomas Hardy. Have you heard of Thomas Hardy's wine? You can pick up like a 70s one, and the yeast is black in the bottom of the bottle.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they found the oldest drinkable beer in the world recently. It was in a shipwreck, so low in the sea there was no oxygen in the water, so it hadn't oxidized, and it was a few hundred years old or something. But yeah, I think it sold for hundreds of thousands at auction.
Did they drink it? Oh no,
I don't know. I hope so. I would have drunk it. I hope so. But,
yeah. That they're all saying there we are, Thomas Hardy. That was a really interesting brew. Thomas Hardy's ale. That was a good one. Yeah.
I'll have to look out for it.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying your Gigglemug.
Good. Goes down easy.
Really good. Did anybody try a Welsh real ale brewed with chilies called Red Welsh Dragon? Not tried that one.
Not seen it myself.
George, have you done any collaboration beers? That's by James Hickey.
We have done, yes. Our last collaboration was actually with 3 other breweries, and that was Wildcard Brewery in Walthamstow, Bohem, who are a Czech lager brewery based in Bounds Green, and Howling Hops, who are in East London, Hackney Wick. So yeah, that was the last collaboration we did, was with those 3, and that was like a black Kolsch, so it was like a 5% black Kolsch, and it was called Mashup, and it was a really nice, easy drinking dark beer, and it actually won gold in the speciality lager category for London. So the Love Beer London Festival, I think. So yeah, it won an award there, and yeah, it was a really nice collaboration. It was, I think, the second collaboration personally I've ever done, and it was a really nice kind of brew day. It's good bouncing ideas off each other, coming up with the beer, and yeah, did well that beer.
I love doing collaborations. But before we get into that, how are they doing, Howling Hops? Before the situation arose, they were going to get me down to their tank bar, and then kind of the situation come about, and I've not heard nothing. Are they doing okay? How are they doing?
As far as I know, they're doing all right. Like I see quite a bit of their beer out and about, and all their beer is still tasting great. And yeah, as far as I know, they're doing well. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously.
Sorry, go on, mate.
No, I was just going to say, obviously, I think they have a few pubs as well, so they're kind of depending on pubs reopening a little bit. But anyway, go on.
Yeah. Joe Biden's let me know that I missed the super chat from Dan Jordan, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. And I know I'm building an epic pub crawl here in Philadelphia when all this is over. Absolutely. I do a lot of traveling, George. I've brewed collaborations in Poland, Belgium, Germany, all over the UK, and it's my last one was in Liverpool last March. I went up to the Ciba X event, and I did a collaboration then with Glen Affric Brewery. Have you heard of Glen Affric?
Yeah. I was at the same event, so I went to Glen Affric afterwards. Yeah.
I bet we passed each other.
Probably they had a barrel aging project.
So we brewed a Stone the Goat craft beer, Stone the Goat.
Blackcurrant, raspberry, cherry, and passion fruit goza. Wow.
Yeah. And I'm really, and this is just me talking from the heart. Really, is that I've travelled all over Europe and the UK brewing these beers, but I'm generally wondering now, we've all been like locked away for a year or so, haven't we? I'm wondering if I'm going to have like nerves traveling, like I said, I had no problem jumping on a plane before, flying off to Poland to brew a beer or wherever. But I wonder. I lie in bed in the night and I wonder, am I going to have the nerves traveling when it all goes back to normal? And I think that's the psychological kind of effect that this situation, as I like to call it, might have had with people. Do you think there'd be long-term kind of situations like that with people?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult. I think there's certainly, we're nervous going to the supermarket these days. I think one thing for sure is that I won't be taking for granted going to the pub anytime soon when pubs are open. I think one thing 100% is that when I go to a pub, sit down and have my first cask pint or draft pint, I think I certainly will not take the pub for granted again. That's for sure. But yeah, it's a funny time. But I think it's once things start reopening and we can all kind of start enjoying pub culture again. It'll be a big change, and yeah, I think we're all looking forward to it.
Learning, that's what I want to say. Learning to travel again. It sounds really strange, but for me, a lot of these aircrafts, they've been sat on the ground for a long time, and fire up their engines. And I seen on the news the other day. One of the engines went pop, and they had to fly back to in America. I think the thing of the aircraft landed on someone's house. One of the engine rings. It's just just think, It's I think I seen it on one of the news channels recently. But things got to go back to normal soon, because people just won't. They'll become used to what's the word when somebody's been in prison too long. That's it. Like cabin fever, or they become. There's a word for it. I'm sure somebody will comment now in a moment. It's almost like you become almost recluse-like. I think. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'll be a tricky one for sure, but yeah. I think once people are allowed back out there, I think just the option to be able to do something new will sort of take over all the nerves and anxiety of it all, I'm sure. But
here they come. Here's the comment. Institutionalized. That's the word. Institutionalized. I thought so. Beers of Europe. Let's put this one up. Thank you very much, Dan Jordan, for the super chat. Simon visits the Warehouse Taproom Bar, Stone Crow on tour. Let us know what breweries you would like to join you for the evening. Oh, well, I mean, George for one. It'd be lovely. What the plan is, George, is that we're going to do one of these live feeds down at Beers of Europe's tap room. So we'll be like a live guest audience. We'll have people in the audience, bring people up, sit them on a stool, ask them a few questions, have a beer, have some fun, eat some food, that sort of thing. It'd be lovely to have you along if you're interested. It'd be brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great. We did one up in Brew York in December, and that was great. That was really good. Really enjoyed that. We had a big guest crowd, and people really enjoyed that. We lots to drink type of thing, and good fun.
Nice.
Simon Wood would love that. Yeah, lots of you coming in saying they'd love that. That'd be fantastic. So, George, I mean, it's 8:30. I know we're going to do the 3 beers, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Well, certainly. Thank you very much for having me. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to stay on longer, you're very welcome. I've just run out of your beer. That's all. I've drunk all your beer.
They should have said some more. Well, I think I might need to make a bit of dinner, but then I'll tune back in if you're still going.
Oh, we'll be going until 10 o'clock tonight.
All right, fantastic. Well, I'll tune back in as a listener. And if anyone wants to get in touch to ask any questions, they're more than welcome to. Yeah, you can get in touch. It's just brewers@londonbrewing.com if you have any questions about our beer or anything like that. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and it's been nice going through our range with you.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Tweet at George. George is very, very active on Twitter. When you come back on, if you come on as London Brewing Company in the comments, then people will be able to have a conversation with you, and that'd be great. But yeah, I know you had to get a bit of dinner inside you. Get that done, and we'll see you in the comments later on. It's been amazing, George, having you on. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So yeah, I'll be back on if there's any questions. Please send them my way. And yeah, thanks very much for having us. And yeah, it's been nice going through all the beers with everyone. So.
Brilliant. Check out London Brewing Company. Let's give them one last shout out before they go. The Beer Street. That was just incredible. Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah,
well, just fabulous beer. And then we went on to the fantastic Upright Session IPA. Really good stuff. All in 440 cans. Great labeling on the cans. All available from beersofeurope.co.uk. And then we had the Gigglemug Juicy Pale at 4.9% ABV. Absolutely fabulous beers. Really good. George, we got Simon with a super chat. It's downhill from now. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, George.
Fantastic. Well, I'll probably see you at the Beers of Europe tap room, hopefully.
Oh, it'd be great to have you down. Cheers, George. Thanks, mate.
Take care. All the best. See you soon. Bye.
There we go. The lovely George. Absolutely fantastic to have George on. Some of you might be asking, we called time on George at 8:30. The reason being, I was on a pre-chat with George in the green room before we came live tonight, and I said, "How long have you got?" And I think he's had a bit of a long day already, so he wanted to get something to eat. He said, "Give me an hour and a half." So I've seen it at 8:30. I thought George will be hungry by now. Let him go and have something to eat. He'll be back in the comments later on. Beers of Europe, it was amazing, absolutely amazing night. I really enjoyed myself. The beers were terrific, absolutely terrific. These beers from London Brewing Company, just beautiful stuff. Hello, Leah Miles. How you doing? Western Beer Reviews. How are you doing? Always a red. How you doing, mate? Great night. Honestly, yeah. Let's put that up. That was a great night. Beers of Europe. I thoroughly enjoyed myself tonight. Really good. what's the snacks for tonight? I got some of that Indian snack that I posted earlier on. Now I've still got some of that left. That's really good. I might have some of that later on. Holt Mark B. George seemed a good guy, a decent ambassador for the London Brewing Company too. Simon Wood, it was a fantastic night. We're going to be going till 10 o'clock. We're going to be going till 10 o'clock tonight. We're going to stay here for another hour and a half, having a few beers and a chat and everything else. Yeah, Jack Paddy, we're going to stay until 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Get back to the iPhone, Simon. Yeah, I'm kind of like we'll be stuck with this resolution for the rest of the night, Big Kev. Sorry about that. Back to the iPhone on Friday night where we'll have 1080p. But I can't work my iPhone to do the whole StreamYard thing. I can't get that one to work. Perks to the job. Yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. Joe Biden Stenches, $2 super chat. Please support Beers of Europe. Order now. Cheers. I want to add to that. Beers of Europe. They've I don't know too many. I know a few breweries out there, of course I do. But Beers of Europe have got some fantastic connections. And I want to thank, at this moment in time, Beers of Europe for setting up these fantastic Meet the Brewer events. I'll tell you for one now, it's Tuesday night now. By Friday, my lovely person at Beers of Europe will have the next brewer organised in the next few days. It's really, really lovely. It's really, really efficient. And we start advertising it. I get it out there on Instagram and Twitter, and they advertise it as well. And you guys can buy the beer, have a drink along with us. And it's nice to meet new people, have a chat with people, have a drink with people. But it's the fantastic Beers of Europe's connections, really, that sets this whole thing up between the brewer and myself. They've already got a great couple of ideas. We're going to have some really exciting breweries over the next few months. We really are. Hopefully, I got my fingers crossed on this one. We'll have a top class German Weiss beer company coming on, hopefully either in March or April. I got my fingers crossed for that one. I'm a massive fan of their beer. It's just going from strength to strength. We've had Anarchy Brew Co., London Brewing Company. We've had Small Beer on. We've had some just some incredible breweries over the last. Calvers. We've done some collaborations as well. We did a collaboration with Calvers Brewery where we collaborated over the live stream. It was amazing. Dan Jordan, $5 super chat. I have a new beer to me from Workhorse Brewing Company, a Swartz beer, I think. Should I? I've got some of this. Workhorse beer with me right now. I've got their West Coast IPA, and I've got their Guava Goes, which is, Dan's over there in America, and I'm over here in the UK, and they're to hand. They were just sitting there next to my sink. Isn't that amazing? If I got a brewery from Cleveland, would you be interested in having them on? Russell Jermaine? Yeah, of course. I mean, that would be amazing. An American brewery would, that would just be terrific, wouldn't it? Do you think you'll be getting some of your YouTube pals on for a chat? Be like a real pub, chatting to people. Get the legend Joe Biden's on. I think Alan Bourneville, I think that would need planning. I wouldn't like to just send an email out and expect people to come on because, you know, they've got to brush their hair, they've got to brush their teeth, you know, that sort of thing. Get them on, you know, give them a bit of time. Give them a bit of time. We won't be doing that tonight. Dan Rose, will I be reviewing the bitter again, Simon, for the channel? Definitely. I will be reviewing the bitter. Definitely be reviewing the bitter. The bitter was amazing. There's not enough. There's lots of breweries happy to call their beer premium ale and best bitters. There's not enough breweries out there who are willing to make top quality best bitters and premium ales. This beer street for me from London Beer Company was the bee's knees. That was just terrific for 4% ABV. Really good beer. Really good beer. Who's this? Glazier. We'll send some more London Brewing. I think I've got some. I got a couple in the fridge, but yeah, thank you very much, Beers of Europe. You know, that's very nice to have some more. The beers were really good quality, and the transition from being a cask-led brewer to putting everything into cans and setting up online shops, it's a lot of work. So to be able to kind of get it out there and sell it and transition from being a cask-led brewer to you know, a package brewer is quite a big thing. You know, in the last year to set that up is a lot to do. Daniel Bale's going to buy a few London Brewing Company's beers tomorrow. Well done, Daniel. Honestly, Daniel, you won't be disappointed, mate. You won't be disappointed. Who is Daniel? Who? Loved your Vault City review today. They're only 10 minutes drive away from my house, and I've never heard of them before. I looked them up, and they only produce sours. Beer, apparently. Big Kev, they're amazing. Honestly. Their beers are just fantastic. Vault City, really good sour beer. It would be great to get all the long timers on chatting about beer. Just an idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. Alan Bourneville, really good idea. Matt Williams, Simon, is cask as big in Wales? Yeah, there's lots of cask beer in Wales. Lots and lots of cask beer. I just worry, you know, what's going to happen when we come out of this, you know. Just worry what's going to happen after, when all the pubs have to open back up and everything's all the support is peeled back. That's my biggest worry, you know. Phil Jones, love the digs at Simon. And Pharaoh. Oh, I don't know. Drama, internet drama. That is, yeah. Simon, you said it was your first Vault City beer today. Have you tried any of the passive beers before? Andy Layton, no, I need to. So many new breweries out there. I'm trying to catch up on your 10 beer game. Many a time as a failure. I've had my 6 Western beer reviews. Brilliant. Simon, got to keep the live stream going. Captain Meets Adventures. Yeah, but we're going to keep it going till 10 o'clock. Right. I got to use a bathroom again. I'll be back in a moment. Bathroom time for me. The old, what do they say about them? You know, as soon as you've had your first couple of beers and once you start going, that's the end of you. I'll be back in a moment. Yeah, big Kev, yeah. Right, I'm going to ask you. I've been trying to keep hold of the live stream. I'm chatting to you and stuff. So I'm going to ask you again. Where are you from? What are you drinking? Where are you from? What are you drinking? If you can comment below. The beer detective. Dan Jordan. Thank you, mate. You're the beer detective. I know you, mate. I know you. It's very hard to, I see all your names on here, and then I get someone tweeting at me, and I'm like, I've heard of that name before, and it's to connect everybody up with their different names. I've got you. Finland, Pale Ale. Bridgen, Stella on the Perfect Draft, Neat, South Wales, Tactical Nuclear Penguin. Interesting. Barry Town, Daniel Vale, Foster's in London. Preston, Mad Squirrel Brewery, Worcester, drinking Pride. London Pride, is it? Fuller's London Pride. Connecticut, drinking a Narragansett Lager. London, drinking an Amber Kozlak. San Francisco, just coffee at the moment. Well, you're in San Francisco, aren't you? Old Crafty Hen. Moscow, drinking a double chocolate stout, says Shvet. How you doing, Shvet? London on the day into the haze. I'm trying to get as much of these as I can. Brentford on the Fosters. Poland, drinking Libis Brewery, Krakow Lager. Zip for Erto, on the top. From the past, drinking Pepsi Cola. How are we, Simon? Love the channel. Kia, I'm okay, mate. I'm okay, Kia. I'm okay. George is in. George, wait, I just seen Beers of Europe talking to George. George is in, saying hello again. Where is he? Let's see if we can find his comment. There's so many comments coming in. Tonight, there we are. George from London Brewing Company here. Feel free to message me if you have any questions about our beer. George, it was wonderful. It was wonderful having you on. It really was. It was really good. Really enjoyed it. Just fantastic. I'm just finishing this one off now. This fantastic. I think this is the Upright Session IPA. Good stuff. Good stuff. Really good. And yeah, a lot of people speaking to George now. That's cool. Lots of people speaking to George. Joe Biden's then just saying George was great. It was good. It was good. Now, it's fascinating because I get to meet these lovely brewers and brewery owners. I meet them 5 or 10 minutes before the show starts. And generally, I've never, these people are new to me. But, the brewing industry never fails to... What I find with the brewing industry is everybody's friendly. Everybody's friendly in the brewing industry. And you only need 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes beforehand. I used to ask people to come on at 6:30. When I first started having guests on, I'd say, can you join at 6:30 in the green room? And we'd be like, by 7:15, we'd be twiddling our thumbs. So now I say 7:15, come in the green room. We'll have a quick chat beforehand, and then we'll get going, because brewers are friendly people. They really are. And they're intelligent as well. You don't need to tell them too much before it's time for the show to start. My abundant pleasure, matey. Hopefully see you in the flesh next time. George, yes, we'll have a beer together, whether it be at the tap room down at Beers of Europe or at your lovely brew pub or Brew London. We'll be London, I imagine, this year. John Chava, I know I need to buy a better webcam. John Chava feels like he's watching a battered VHS in the 1980s. Call this retro style real ale craft beer. Simon is streaming from a landline. So to do these live streams with brewers on, I have to use my rather old Mac computer now. And it hasn't got the greatest of webcams. I could buy one and plug one in, but I'm holding out. Apparently, Apple are going to bring out a load of new Macs at the end of the year. I'm going to hold out, and I'm probably going to buy myself a laptop version rather than one of the big... I'm going to grab all of the screen and, the big Apple Macs, bring it through and sit it on the windowsill in the kitchen just to have my background. Geordie, first time on the live, having a Heineken Zero because on the diet, but I'm here no less. Well done, Geordie. Stony Old Crows. Old and Out as a TV show on MTV. Oh, there we are. We're doing old-fashioned TV here. Mike Nichols up at Toffees. I need to get a beer. They always bring a load of new Macs out each year. Andy Layton. They just need to bring out a Mac with a blooming good webcam, don't they? Your webcam is this Dalton. Sean Conway. I'm expecting it to be the M2. It'll be an upgraded chip. If they stick it in one of these great big Macs, it's going to be an updated chip, I'm sure. It'll be bells and whistles, I'm sure. Right, I need to get a beer. I'm just going to nip out and get something from the one of the beer machines there. Right, Dan Jordan, Throwback Tuesday in the Stone Crow. Cue the flock of seagulls. Dan Jordan, thank you very much, mate, for the $5 super chat. I'm going to go get a beer from a beer machine out in my conservatory. Right, thank you very much, Dan Jordan, for the super chat. Really appreciate that, mate. Where are we? Damien Mansell. Oh, Damien Mansell. He's doing all right. Got something in my eye. Right, I'm drinking a Jupiler. Belgian lager, Jupiler, from my Perfect Draft machine. Don't mention Mac to me. That's why I'm late. Mine is very much in the pits, probably for quite some time. Simon, milk stout taste is amazing. Not been in the fridge. Hazy haze, yeah. Try not to put your beer in the fridge. Although a lot of people will tell you to have cold beer. I like to drink mine from the conservatory or on the kitchen wall on the back. Single skin brick on the kitchen wall. Really cold wall. So a lot of my beers are on the kitchen wall there. And I like it cool. I like my beer cool. I don't like it freezing cold. You get your beer freezing cold, it knocks out loads of the flavour. Are you meant to drink beer at room temperature? No, chilled, Darren, chill it. Chill it slightly, get it down to about 8 degrees. Don't have it freezing cold like they tell you on the TV. People watch too much telly, all this serve ice cold. They're beers that have been produced with no flavour, and they want you to drink ice cold water. Look at this! What a lovely, lovely gesture. What a lovely gesture by Beers of Europe. £5 super chat right at the end. Well, not at the end of our night, but the end of their night. Thank you very much, Beers of Europe. Great night. Thanks, Simon. We'll be in touch with the next brewery. Honestly, this is to my people who are watching. It's going to be a great brewery. It really is. Pardon me. It's going from strength to strength. The brewers coming on here, they're going from strength to strength. It really is really cool at the moment. I got my fingers crossed. I've got my fingers crossed for this rather nice Weiss beer brewery in Germany. I really have, because I've always been a fan of their beers, and it would be really nice to get them on and have a chat with them. You guys would love it. You guys watching would love it. You'd be like, wow, this could be really cool. If we could negotiate and convince these brewers to come on the channel, then that would just be mind-bogglingly awesome. It really would. Thank you very much, Beers of Europe, for coming on tonight. It's been amazing. Thank you very much. Right, we got one from Simon Wood. What happened there? Hang on. How many beers have you had in their home country only to be disappointed to try in the UK? Jupiler is one, Guinness another, Beera. None of these are great beers, but better in their homeland. Yeah. This Jupiler is from. This is a Belgian Jupiler. It's really good. Belgian Jupiler. I'm not a fan of Guinness. It's just. The other maybe Beera, Del Borgo, maybe, is the other one. That'd be pretty cool. We got a new member. Simo Sups Beer Reviews. Wow. Simo, thank you very much for choosing to become a new member of the channel. That is just amazing. I'm seeing what you're seeing, mate, on the screen. I don't get to see if it's a, what tier membership. So maybe some of the lovely people in the comments can let me know which tier you've decided to join. All I see is that you've become a member. But thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. If you want to become a member of the channel, hit the join button down below. It's either down there or down there. You can become a new member and support us every month, which is great. Absolutely great. Thank you. Russell, Guinness has a place in my heart because it started my whole journey with craft beer. I understand that. Totally understand that. Daniel Bill, Lifeboat. Simo, thank you very much, Simo, for joining the Lifeboat, keeping us afloat. Yeah, Russell, I understand that. Whatever starts your journey, built like George earlier with the Hobgoblin, you're going to have an affiliation with that beer for the rest of your life because it changed the direction. It changed the direction of what you, pardon me, of what you were drinking before to what you're drinking now. Totally appreciate that. I lived in Dublin for 5 years, and the strange thing was I didn't appreciate how much better Guinness was there until I had it again in the UK. It's still an everyday beer, but much better there. Simon Wood. I get it. Beer. Some beer doesn't travel very well. Some beer just doesn't travel very well. Simo, already subbed on my other account, which is just Simo. This is a new venture. I drink enough beer, so I thought, sorry, let's try my hand at reviewing the stuff. Do it, mate. I know, right? Yeah, if I put my hand over the rest of the name. Yes, Simo, I know you, mate. You've been a fan for a long time. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Review some beer. Do it, mate. Why not? Why not? Daniel Bales recognized you. Thought I recognized the name, Simo. Hello from Wiltshire, me old fruit. Sir Peasant Stew. I love Wiltshire. What a place. Love all the what is it? The chalk land down there. Blows a kettle up in 2 years. My wife's from Wiltshire. She says she has to buy a new kettle every 2 years. Isn't it, Mel? Just highlighted the comments. You can see it from the side here.
What is it?
Hello from Wiltshire, me old fruit. I said my wife's from Wiltshire. She told me they got to buy a kettle every 2 years. The kettles blow up after 2 years with all the chalk in the water. Simon Wood saying, where's your wife from? Salisbury. Well, Bulford, Salisbury. That way of Salisbury, Wiltshire. And Sir Peasant Stew said, so does my missus. It's a Wiltshire thing. Yeah. Simon Wood. Bulford. What's the pub with the thatched roof? I know it well. The pub with the thatched roof. The Rose and Crown. The Rose and Crown, Simon Wood. Can you remember the Rose and Crown? I used to go in the Rose and Crown and play pool. Have a few beers. I love the Rose and Crown. I hope it all goes back to normal. I hope it all goes back to normal soon so we can get back in the blooming pubs again. Yes, I know. Simon Wood knows that. Yeah. Joe Biden, Mauser Druid. From the Lord, Tommy B, Andreas near Portsmouth, drinking Moretti Rossa and Lagunitas IPA, both on the Krebs Compact. Oh, that sounds good. We love the Bishops. Oh, the Mill. The Mill. It's a peasant stew. The Mill. Oh, hang on. Wrong one. It jumped on me. The Mill in Salisbury. Do you know, that pub has been through the grinder in the last few years. One of the most amazing pubs you can go to. Sitting on the river in Salisbury. River at the end of the beer garden. Beautiful in the summer. First of all, they had that poisoning thing. So the pub was shut for about a year. And then we've had a whole situation with damn. So they've been shut for another year. That pub is it's one of the best pubs. One of the best pubs. The Mill in Salisbury. I know the pub. Travis Wilson. Yeah, we know beer. Deeds beers travel well. I got a deed. Have I got a Deeds? I got them right in front of me here, Travis. Let's show you. Oh, yeah, we have Intergalactic Love Child Volume 2, a sour hazy double IPA from Deeds. And we've got a Counterculture Earl Swirl berry beer. Look at that. Cheers, Travis. And then last but not least from Travis, we have a Tequila Queen oak aged margarita beer at 7% ABV. Look at that. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Yeah, Tom Hale. Yeah, I totally agree. Just fed up now. Just get the pubs open now. Goodness sake. Do you know what I found really interesting? It started off like frustration, loads and loads of frustration. People really frustrated. The industry's going down the pan, this sort of thing, and I can't help but read on Twitter. There's a few people on Twitter, and it's like they've changed tack. They've changed tack to like being pardon me. Come on, get them open. To only open when you're ready. Make sure let's not rush this and I kind of makes me cringe a little bit and go, come on, get these pubs open. Come on, hurry up. It just, I don't know. It just, I don't know if I don't know if I'm overstepping the mark. I don't know if it's me overstepping the mark, but I'm dying for a pint in a pub. Dying without having to sign into the pub and without having to wear a mask and without having to mess about. Let's get in there. Let's have a pint. Come on. But, beer gardens for the start. We'll find out if our man will follow suit with the beer gardens thing. That would be nice. Well, being a Moretti, I was in London Pride drinker, but since watching your posts and tasting all these lovely drinks, my palate's changed. Simon, you're a beer leader. Cheers. Elizabeth, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Cheers to you. Wickham are beating Reading. Oh, Sam K, are they really Sam K? Oh my goodness me, that's going to open things right up. If results go our way, that's going to open things right up. 9:10. There's only going to be about just over half an hour to go in that match. I could be wrong. Could be 20 minutes. Wow. The Nuji pub, it overlooks the Labrook River. First day in the pub's going to be carnage. Probably not my local, though. The average age is about 60. That's the thing, Sam K. That's the thing. I mean, am I just in this forgotten world now where, it's just not a thing anymore? It's just not a thing anymore. Am I kind of past it? Is it me that's past it? I love the pub. But the youngsters don't. People younger than me don't. People my age don't. Is it just me? Is it just me that loves the pub? That's the problem. I just don't know. Simon, what pub will you visit first? Last time, it was a Marston's pub, to be honest. Have you tried the black IPA from Cloudwater? Outrageous. We have plastic dividers at the bar. It's odd. Russell, yeah. Big Kev, it's me. Must be me. Must be me, Big Kev. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I think it might be me, Big Kev. Might be me. It's scary, really scary because, I've been a publican. I've always been a publican. I've always liked the life. I've always liked the pub life. My only saving grace, or my only hope, I got my hands clutched together here. My only hope is that we've all been kind of locked in for so long that we're all just going to go, we're all just going to go, I've had enough of all these blooming screens, all these phone screens and iPad screens and televisions. And what I found for me over the last 6 months, put the screen down, put the iPad down, I don't even have an iPad. Put the phone down, limit myself to looking at this very Mac here that I'm talking to you guys on. Limit it to it's like an information overload. It's like information. It's like you're being wired. It's like being wired in to too much information. And sometimes you just want to go, sitting. I don't have a stool. If I had a stool, I'd show you. But just, just sit back and relax. And the only way I can really do that is in a pub. The only way I can really relax is in a pub. I work from home. So I go from where I work in the dining room to watching television in the living room, and I haven't even really left work. It's tough. I I want to go. I want to go to the pub. I really do. I want to go to the pub. I nearly tried to scroll then on my Mac, and I got to use this magic mouse thing. Yeah. I thought the same thing, but everyone is careful as far as I can tell. No one could forget. You do great reviews on YouTube. Thank you very much, Darren. Have I been to any Norfolk pubs? Maybe on the Broads. Tom, never. Love to. I'd love to, mate. I'd love to. It's you. So I wanted to get another comment in from Big Kev. I was looking at his comment just now. Or Bram. Just going again. Bramall Backroom Brewery. Do you reckon the government will introduce vaccination passports for hospitality venues? Bramall, I'd like to think not. I'd like to think not. That, for me, would be the biggest red flag. The biggest red flag ever into, like, forcing people down the road of having the vaccine. I don't really want to tell you my situation about, whether I want to have it or not. Because it's going to cause uproar, isn't it? It's going to cause uproar. I'd rather not cause uproar tonight. But when you're being filtered down that route of, if you want a pint, you've got to have this thing, and that for me goes, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second. That makes me just go, whoa. Red flags go up. Sirens are going off in my mind. Whoa. That makes me, if you want a beer, you have to, and that makes, whoa. So I've always had that thing though. I've always had that, I've always had a very cautious person, always had that. Ask the question 4 times. Ask it 4 times before making any kind of decision, It's tough. I'm a similar age, Simon, but the price of a pint in a pub over the years driven younger folk into the home. Football on TV too. Big Kev, yeah. Football's on the telly, I suppose. What do I work as? Just want to laugh. A few more weeks, guys, and it could really happen. Final furlong. Yeah. Dan Jordan, £10. $10 US super chat. Thank you very much, Dan Jordan. That is amazing. As Drew said, there's a support group for people that hate their jobs. It's called Everyone, and they can meet at the bar. Jordan, yes. Let's get it up, Jordan. I like that one. Thank you very much. £10, $10 US super chat. Thank you very much. Locally, a pint of craft is $7 US. Yeah. The old ones will be out raving and the kids staying home partying, yeah. £4.50 a pint, yeah. Yeah, Daniel James, there's that, there is that, I don't know. £8 a pint near me. But it keeps the river out. I don't mind. Dan Rose, yeah. Yeah, Simon Wood, you know, there is that Simon Wood. Yeah, there is that, you know. I'm just confused. I'm just confused. I'm just a naturally suspicious person. I ask you a question 4 times. I'm very suspicious. It's just there. I'm not one of those anti kind of, what they call them, anti-vax. I'm not one of those. It's just, there's just something there. There's just something I can't put my finger on. There's just something that I don't know. Just whenever you put the news on, whenever it's I don't know. Maybe it's time to change the subject. Maybe it's time to change the subject. The problem is for me is I've got to fly to Italy in July, and I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to jump on a plane, even though I could last year. You know, now this year I've got to have it to fly on a plane, and I do a lot of flying, so I might have to. Yeah, well done, Simon. Yeah, let's change the subject. Let's change the subject. Beautiful pubs in Norfolk, says Tom Hale. Local football in Victoria this year can't advertise who they're playing week to week this year in case it incites a crowd more than 1,000 people. Right, toilet time for me. Toilet time for me. Back in a moment. Cool. Right, it's time for the snack. I got some of these Indian snacks I was Big Kev. It does. Big Kev, you're right. It tastes like batter. Brian Rossiter. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I really do. I really do. Let's see what happens. Oh, the batter bits. Really? Captain Meats Adventures. Walker's multi-packs, 22-gram bags of crisps. Oh my goodness me. We'll have to do a video. Black Colch, Russell, will just be a Colch with some roasted malt in. Tom Green, which one is it then? Physics draft pour, £200. Wow. First out of them Brewdog, then Walkers. James Marriott is saying he got a problem with his Blade beer. The tap won't stop pouring out beer. James Marriott, I've not had that problem. Hopefully, you know, they'll sort it out for you. Beerwolf will sort that out for you. Oh no! I say oh no. I said oh yes. I should say oh yes, shouldn't I? Oh yes, Simo. My mate. Kia. If I wasn't flying Kia, it'd be a different thing. If I wasn't flying. Wife asked if I could clean the kitchen table. I had to take a run up, but I made it. Well done, Paul. I like that. Oh, Joe Biden, you can get it for £425. with some kegs on offer. The Blade beer. Have I tried the taproom beers from Home Bargains? No, not yet. Not yet. Neil Oldfield. Pubs are for hard-working people that talk about how much they hate work. And I miss it so much. Yeah. Neil Oldfield. Totally right, mate. No! I thought so. I thought this was happening. Project WWA. Simon, do you know my mate Tomek has closed his beer channel in YouTube in Poland? A lot of people, it's like in mourning. Everything's changed. What? Tomek Kapira. Oh. Tomek Kapira. Such a good friend of mine. Such a good friend. I kind of understand. Project WWA, I kind of understand. I really do. Wow. I don't know. I don't know if this is true, so I can't really say too much at the moment. But I have been speaking to Tomek over the last few months. And I think his goal for 2021 was to drink less beer. Wow. Wow. Really good. Sorry, I've just got in from Tony the Tiger's reception. Wedding. It was a bit of a frosty reception. Right, I've had enough of these crisps. Oh. Do you ever dabble in breakdancing? So, class. Breakdancing, me. Hey. True, call him. You'll have a new coaching channel, but he was very moved at the end when he was waving to his viewers. Where's my phone? Where is my phone? My goodness me, what has he done? I got to check something. Thomas. Is this it? The end. When he was waving to his viewers. Oh my goodness me. Oh, I've got to check something. My good friend Thomas Capira with literally hundreds of thousands of viewers on YouTube has closed down his beer channel. Brava Capira. I'm gonna the beer channel project WWA. I'm gonna let you into a little secret. I was in a hotel room with Thomas Capira 2 years ago, and I said to him, Thomas, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I am absolutely exhausted. I don't know how long I can carry on. And this is me. And he said, you need to carry on until the passion is there. And then when the passion is gone, it's kind of like your job. But he still had loads of passion. He told me in that hotel room. I was the one saying, Tomek, I'm exhausted. Tomek, I'm shattered. I'm really tired. I'm exhausted. I don't know how long I can carry on. And now Tomek has stopped his beer channel. He had so much energy. He had so much focus. Yeah. He had so much focus. I can't believe he's waved goodbye to his beer channel. I think maybe Tomek was very into his politics. I think personally, Tomek Capira might be going into politics. Maybe. I don't know enough about it. Daniela, yeah, you're from Poland. I can see. Maybe he's interested in politics. I know I was speaking to him only last month, and he was really into his politics. So maybe he's opening up. He's going to become a politician. Maybe if you become a politician, then beer and politics, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Maybe he might become the next Polish prime minister. Who knows? If he did, he'd lower the beer taxes. I think in his heart of hearts, I think if he was a politician, he made it as the prime minister of Poland, he would lower the beer taxes in Poland. Not straight politics on how to live. Project WWA. I mean, the other channel, he was telling me, the other channel that he started is doing just as well as his beer channel. And this is the problem. And I don't mind speaking about this publicly. I'm public. There's 174 people watching this live stream. In the community of beer writers, I know Thomas Capira, I know all of the top beer people in the world. behind closed doors, there's always been a glass ceiling. There's always been a glass ceiling. Nobody has been able to break the glass ceiling. I'm going to spend my life trying. I'm going to spend my life trying. I really am. 46,000 subscribers after 10 years of reviewing beer on YouTube. I'm happy. I'm really happy. Some have gone a little quicker. Some have started after me. That's the one that kind of gnaws at you a little bit. The channels that start after you, and they're in the, there's a couple of channels in the world with 100,000 subscribers. Tomac Kapira's channel being one of them. Tomac Kapira's channel being one of them. They're the ones that, you think what could have been, if you hit that level. Because I have passion. I have passion beyond belief for beer. Sometimes I might complain. I'm tired. I'm a little bit tired. I really am. I'm tired. Bloody apple. Sometimes I might complain how tired I am, and but I wake up in the morning, I'm like a Duracell battery with a solar panel attached to it. I wake up in the morning and all the tiredness has gone away and I'm okay again. I carry on. I think to myself, if I had that kind of viewership, that 100,000, how quickly could I turn it to 1 million? And not for my own self-interests. It's not for my own self-interest. It's more to do with spreading the word of good beer. Let's get the word of good beer out there. Let's see if we can hit 100,000 subscribers and then 1 million subscribers. Let's push it. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing for the world of beer. Joe Biden says the 100K is coming, man. Joe Biden, I hope you're right. We had an amazing year last year. From 30 to 40 was quick. From 40 to 46,000 subscribers is pretty quick. If we can push it to 100,000 drinking beer, and then we just keep pushing to 1 million, just keep banging at it. I don't want a lifestyle channel. There's enough of it out there. I understand why Tomac Kapira is doing it, because he's doing it in Polish, and it's good. He's doing it in his own native language, and he's doing rather well from it. But if I started talking about welfare in English, there's already 10 billion channels out there doing that thing. There's no point in me trying to do it. I'll be... let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing with the beer. Let's keep pushing with the beer and the food. My grandfather used to tell me that as well. Never trust a man who don't drink. My grandfather told me that. Try getting a poll out, spreading the good word. What's Simon Wood saying? I missed Simon Wood's comment. Where's Simon Wood's comment? Let's have that. Yeah, Simon Wood. Yeah, get the proper musicians out, mate. Yeah. And these chili challenges. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that helps. That helps. That's a push in the right direction, isn't it? That's a push in the right direction, is having a chilly night or a chilly day, just to push the channel, just to try and get it up there in the stratosphere. All I'm trying to do, I'll be honest, all I'm trying to do with one of these videos is for it to go bonkers. That's all I'm trying to do. If I get one of these videos to go bananas, then beer benefits. Beer benefits. If I get one of these chilly videos to go millions and billions of views. But it's so hard to do. There's so many people doing it. It's so hard to do. Trying to find that niche, that small niche where you can go, poof, there you go, million views. It's all, I promise you, it's all the benefit of beer. Beer will benefit. The rest of the beer will benefit, because if somebody's watched one video 1,000,000 times, then they're going to watch my landlord video or my Fuller's London Pride or the London Brewing Company's video. Beer benefits. It all rubs off against one another. It's just trying to get that one video to go. I've understood it for a long time that one beer video is never likely going to do it. Little and often with a beer. Keep pumping the videos out with the beer reviews, and then try and do a chili video where somebody, it goes crazy, and then people start watching the beer videos. I want to go to a pub and see the channel on the screen. Yeah, Sam, that's the thing, these one-off videos, one-off videos. It's so, it's so hard to do. Captain Meets Adventures. What I don't like is channels who change because they lose their thing. What I like about your channel, keeps independent. You change when you think it's time. Like food, the Stone Crow, miss your trips. Oh, Captain Meets Adventures. The trips will come back. The trips will come back. Yeah, or the hazy haze, yeah. Or the chimney flue fitting on a cherry picker. That type of video, that type of video where you're up there handballing a chimney flue down a chimney. Not many people do that type of stuff. I need to do it. I got a 5-meter RSJ in the garden. 5-meter long rolled steel beam in the garden. I'm knocking the main wall of the house down. I'm knocking the middle wall of the house down. It's in the garden, ready to go. I'm end of terraced house. So I'm going to knock an hole in the end of the house over there. I'm going to take out all the stonework and I'm going to feed through an RSJ. I got to dig a channel with a brickwork in that main wall, holding all the joists up. Take next door's adjoining beam out that's holding the floor up. I'll have a load of props up, I'll have a load of what they call them bloody metal things. I'll have a load of them up with a scaffold board each side of the wall. But I'm gonna knock it so open plan. So I'm thinking maybe I make a video, because I've googled it on YouTube, how to knock a terraced house 2 rooms into one. There's not one video. There's not. Acros, that's the one. AZAs, that's the one. I've had a beer tonight. Acros. There's no video on YouTube onto how to knock a living room and a dining room of a terraced house into one. There's not one video on YouTube. So I'm thinking maybe we but the trouble is, the blooming council will come round then, won't they? If I make a video on YouTube, the blooming council will come round and, oh, what have you done here? You knocked your blooming house apart. I'm going, oh, what want me? What want me? We'll lose that then. Lose that then on that video. That's the trouble. If I make that video, Simon Martin knocks his house to the ground. I've done it. Acros and a good bricky. Andy Higgins, yeah, knock them bloody old stone walls out. Big open plan. That's the answer. You could be the most viewed video ever. You should know that would be a successful video nowadays. Yeah, Big Kev. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the answer. Whoop, little rock there. Little first one of the night. Rocking round in the kitchen. Wickham 1, Reading 0. Wow! What is going on in the championship? Simon, nearly 40 million people have viewed your videos of you in the kitchen. Your cat in the bar, just under a quarter of the whole country have watched you. It is bonkers. Captain Meter Francis, it is bonkers. I just think one of these chili videos, one day, one of these chili videos is going to do it. We're going to do it with one of these chili videos. Get it up there in the stratosphere. Just to promote beer. Just to promote beer. Many thanks. Norfolk Bros, if you can, especially if you haven't already. Totally wonderful. Much love. Tom Hill. Okay, Tom Hill. See you later. Thanks, mate. Best video ever. Fowl curry and a sour beer. There's no better video. I don't remember filming that one. Was that me? Right, 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go at the Stone Crow Virtual Pub. Hazy Haze. It did. That dog beer. Oh, God, yeah. Terrible. The gummy bear of death. And one of them will go. I got black noodles coming soon. Perhaps it might even be tomorrow. Black noodles. Oh, they were bonkers. I was like, mouth was on fire. One of my lovely followers from America sent me these black noodles from America, and they were boiling. Oh, Daniel Bell's found a knock-through video. Love you all, guys. This is such a great place. And apologies if I was a bit short. Simon Wood. We've all, I think I'm going to put that up. We've all got our own thoughts on things. You know, the biggest thing for me is none of us are really falling out. You know, we'll have a difference of opinion, but we're not necessarily falling out. You know, that's the biggest thing for me. Is because we're all different. We're all different. We've all got a difference of opinion and whatever. The biggest thing is we can agree to kind of, we're all getting along. And no one's really, we've all had a beer. That's the thing. We've all had a beer. I've seen many people on a bar stool, they're like, oh, you're wrong, you know, and you're no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You know, and it might end up in a fight or whatever. Next day, they're shaking hands, and you know, it's beer talk. It's blooming beer talk. That's the thing. We all get along. That's right, Simon. We all get along. That's it. It's just beer talk. It's just beer talk. That's all it is. Oh, Daniel Bill's found another chili challenge for the future. Okay. I'm bursting for the toilet. I really am. A Sam Michaels for the San Miguel. It's a nice beer, San Miguel. Different opinion is great. Makes for great discussion in my viewpoint, although a good debate is being lost these days. Philip James, I suppose so. A good debate is being lost these days. Only thing I argue about is Fender guitars. I met a guy in a lock in Dawson who hated me at the beginning. He wanted my babies at the end. I love it. I gotta get some Chinese takeaways. So we'll see you lovely folks. Hopefully next week. Dan Jordan. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's about time. I've run out of beer. I've got no beer left. It's 5 to 10. I'm 5 minutes early, but we started 5 minutes early. 5 minutes, 5 to 7 to 5 to 10. We've done 3 hours. Friday night at the Stone Crow Virtual Pub. Friday night, 7 p.m. See you all there. Love you lots. Boom! Stone the Crows.